fans, welcome back everyone, welcome back to the second half of World Team League WTL 2024 Summer Contest Round 5, day number 3. We just wrapped up with our first best of 7 of the night. We just wrapped up with Team Vitality versus Offside Esports. Did go heavily in favor of Team Vitality, but they are one of the best teams in the league. Here we're settling into a matchup that should be a little bit closer. We have Team Liquid versus Platinum R8. Again, Platinum Heroes and R8 Esports have joined forces. They've come together for a kind of joint union of a team, and I mean, hey, their team is that much better for it. Kelazhur, of course, is the heavy hitter from R8 Esports, and we have a spicy matchup to kick things off. We have Clem versus Kelazhur in a TVT. We have Elazer versus ShaDoWn in a ZVP, and Cure versus YoungYakov at the end of the night, a Terran versus Zerg matchup. Again, YoungYakov, he was just crowned the Sparkling Tuna Cup champion earlier before WTL. We just finished casting Sparkling Tuna Cup, and YoungYakov did win out in the end over Nickrat. 3-1 is our champion. I do recommend watching those VODs. It was a spicy best of 5. It was a wild tournament. Do recommend it. But for now, we are settling into a TVT. I don't want to get too ahead of myself talking about YoungYakov. We're here for Kelazhur versus Clem. And specifically in the TVT matchup, like with a lot of players, right? Whenever we talk about Cyril's weakest matchup is ZVZ. Whenever we talk about Clem's weakest matchup, likewise, is TVT as well. If he were ever to fall, if there were ever to be an upset, a TVT is the most likely of scenarios for that. So I want to say that Kelazhur has a chance. Clem is the favorite player, but I mean, I would not be surprised if we get a 1-1 score or even a 2-0. There is a chance here for Kelazhur. He is a man with a plan. He always comes in with specialized builds with some more aggression, maybe some cheese, maybe some all-in, some more styles that's more in the face of his opponent. I'm ready. I'm excited. And here we go. You can see our players before us. Clem with the 900 ELO just behind Maru, but still a terrifying Terran in his own right. We have Kelazhur on the right-hand side. Again, Kelazhur, he doesn't have too much... I was going to say, he doesn't have too much experience in WTL. He was competing for Team Liquid for a time. That is true. But now, on another team... Oh, I just realized. This is a bit of a grudge match a little bit. Kelazhur once was competing for Team Liquid. Now he's up against them. Let's go. We're diving in the top right-hand corner. We have Clem for Team Liquid. And in the bottom left, we have Kelazhur, Diego, for Platinum R8. Here we go. We are going to be settling in. But again, Kelazhur was for a very long time representing Team Liquid, was a big part of their org, and of course last year did end up leaving Team Liquid. He, of course, still competing for them in WTL, and now has gone on to, I would imagine, greener pastures. And we'll see. We'll see if he can end up taking it to some of his ex-teammates. I'm sure there's no bad blood. I'm sure they're all good friends, don't get me wrong. Diego's a great guy, so is Clem. They're all wholesome, baby. They're all wholesome. We'll see. We'll see how this does turn out. As we do see Clem opening up double gas, so is Kelazhur. Here we go. Really cool. Oh, is that really Kozan? Oh my god, papi, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hope you're doing well. Clem v Kelazhur. Kelazhur takes that, I think, on some days. Clem probably the most other days. Couldn't have put it better myself. True, true. Kelazhur on some, Clem on most. I would agree with that. Again, Clem is the favorite player, but we're settling in. We are going to be settling into our TVT. Again, because of the faster double gas opener out of Clem is going for that factory. Oh, likewise, Kelazhur doing the same, getting into his own factory opener as well. Again, Dynasty is one of those maps that we rarely see. Dynasty, of course, is a very, very interesting map with a pocket gold base. As a result, it is often vetoed, but here in WTL, there are no vetoes. We force players to play on some of these more unorthodox maps, and I'm curious how our players expand and when they take the gold. Taking the goal base as a natural is a really risky maneuver, and I don't expect that from either player. As you can see here, Clem expanding at the more standard natural location. Doesn't rush into the gold. Likewise, Kelazhur's natural base is going to be delayed. Reaper has arrived. SCV goes down. Ay, ay, ay. SCV is going to get picked up. So a nice little delay. It means that Clem will have a slight lead in terms of his CC timing. Kelazhur's is going to be a little bit later. So a good start for Clem. Meanwhile, Reaper Hellion moving out. Kelazhur being active. Clem getting ready back at home, working towards his Cyclone. Meanwhile, Kelazhur, if you look at the production tab, is continuing Reaper Hellion production. So Kelazhur has to be careful not to overcommit. Oh, as he pulls back. But basically, Kelazhur is looking to overwhelm. He's looking to overwhelm with additional Reapers and additional Hellions. His goal is to dive in, try to break through the defensive line of Clem, get into a mineral line, get some SCV damage. There's potential for Kelazhur. The downside, now we have a Cyclone. Now we have a defensive Cyclone. The Cyclone, it's big, it's beefy, it's going to be the backbone of Clem's army. And we'll see if we can keep it alive as we do dive in. And the Reapers, they dive on forward, but the Cyclone has arrived. We focus down two of the Reapers already, and Clem, he holds. He shuts down the push. Kelazhur has to back off. Again, not the most successful push here from Kelazhur, and he was already slightly behind in terms of the workers, in terms of the base timing. So Clem getting these small victories here early on. Is settling into a second Cyclone just to be safe. And it's worth it as Kelazhur attempts to poke back in. As Kelazhur backs off, Clem is working towards Raven production. Okay, we have our Raven in production. We have Interference Matrix as well. Just kind of your stock standard TVT. Kelazhur, on the other hand, is not. I believe that's a reactor. Yeah, that's a reactor on the starport. So he's going into earlier tank production. And with that reactor, we could work towards Vikings. Show us what you got. There it is. Viking production has commenced. I'm curious. We'll keep an eye on Kelazhur if he throws down a second starport. For now, is prioritizing Vikings. Now, the dynamic, or the way this works is, Clem has more potential with the ability to disable tanks, right? The Ravens are such a useful utility unit here in TVT. They have so much potential to catch an army, even in position, catch it off guard. So Ravens are massive. At the same time, because Kelazhur is rushing into Vikings, his goal is to zone away these Ravens, to make sure the Ravens do not get close, do not close that gap, and get on top of those tanks and shut them down. So there's going to be a dance between the Vikings and the Ravens. Speaking of, we do catch the Raven. Okay, good positioning here out of Kelazhur. Not able to get the kill, but does zone the Raven away for the time being. Raven is zoned away. Clem throwing down a third CC back at home. Working towards a longer macro game. Meanwhile, no third CC in sight yet from Kelazhur. No second starport either. Just for now, focusing on tank Viking production. There it is! Second starport. You can see the production tab there. Second starport's on the way. It's a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in from Kelazhur. With the second starport, the goal is to have an abundance of Vikings, build up and secure air control, then go into a Liberator. There it is. Liberator is on the way. Because of the air control, there's no answer to the Lib, and the Liberator can bully back the ground army of Clem. Again, the advantage of Clem is those Ravens, as we are pushing out across the map. Kelazhur is going for a very committed push here. Cyclone's trying to pick away at the army. We do get a Reaper, but oh, it costs us a Cyclone. Not the best trade from Clem. Tanks are sieged up. Kelazhur has to be careful not to overextend. Oh, Hellions are thrown away. Not the biggest of losses, but the Hellions do take some tank fire. And we're diving in. We land the Vikings. The tanks are exposed. The Ravens are out of position, and the tanks are going down one after the other. The Ravens know where they needed to be. And now we can keep pushing, but this did cost us all the Vikings, and boys are being pulled. Tank starts to siege up, but we can disable. There it is. There's the first disable in the first tank. Cyclone coming in from behind. Order starts are thrown down. One tank falls. But Kelazhur does kite back, and he has momentum on his side. Remember, Kelazhur has a tank lead, and Clem, he's in trouble. There we go. More order starts thrown down. Viking and Liberator has arrived. We're going for the Ravens. Going for the Ravens. Order charge. Oh, no! Oh, but a mispathing. Mispathing there, and Kelazhur, he bleeds out Marines, and we need everything we can get. Again, this is still so close. Boys being pulled to repair the Ravens. Tanks getting within range of the natural. Liberator has arrived, but so are the Vikings for Clem. The Vikings are making that just in time. Big tank volleys going off. Clem is bleeding out tanks. But the Ravens, they come in to clean up. Vikings land, and Clem, he is shutting this down. Whew, oh my god. This was a close game, though. This was a very close push. But again, Clem, he barely has enough. He's forcing back Kelazhur. I mean, another Liberator has arrived. Kelazhur is not out of this yet. But he's down to a single tank. It's barely standing. Barely alive. As Liberator does siege, forcing back the tank. Slowly leapfrogging forward. Kelazhur does have air control, but there's a tank on the high ground. The tank on the high ground is gonna be shut down. Oh my god, Clem wants to get in trouble, bleeding out his tank. He's down to 1. And again, the Ravens, they can't add much. You can see the Ravens trying to come in from the right-hand side. The Vikings, don't quite spot this. CC's under fire. Liberator across the map. We have Vikings to defend. The boys are being pulled. Big disables here on the tanks. Yeah, Vikings are going down. And Clem, he breaks out. He breaks out of the contain, shuts down the tank, shuts down the Vikings. And remember, Kelazhur was committed. He was all in. What do I mean by that? Clem this entire time was defending with a 3rd CC. Clem has a 3rd base. He hasn't landed it, but you can see on the minimap. You can see on the minimap, it's on the way. The 3rd base is being landed on location. Clem is able to maintain a worker lead and extend that lead even further with that 3rd. Kelazhur's 3rd is still not done. Still on the way. He was so committed with this. The goal there was to kill Clem. He wasn't able to. Now the game settles down, and Clem even retained every Raven. That is impressive. Despite all the Vikings, all the Ravens survived. The Ravens lived. We snipe a tank for free. But finally, some of these Ravens are going to get picked off, but they have already paid for themselves. If it wasn't for these Ravens, Clem would have died earlier, right? Like the disables, the auto turrets, they were so key in that defense. Kelazhur was not able to deny them. Was not able to stop them. We can see Kelazhur harassing in the main base with the Lib, getting 3 workers. Does get a couple of worker kills. And Clem is pushing out. And Clem with a 20 army supply lead. Could even potentially deny Stim. Stim is looking a little bit exposed. We'll see how Clem approaches. So he rotates over. Yeah, he stims on 4. There's no support for the tanks. The tanks are naked. They're exposed. Tank goes down. Liberator as well. And Clem, he does siege up. And he takes advantage of the natural base. But again, this was a very tense game. It was so close, but now Clem has control of the natural. That CC was so delayed, it's going to go down. That's a kill on the 3rd base. A kill on the 3rd CC. Tank on the high ground as well. Kelazhur trying to hold on as best he can. But he has lost 15 workers. Boys are being pulled into tank fire. Kelazhur will clean this up, but at what cost? At the cost of 28 SCVs. I mean, sure, there's a Liberator across the map wreaking havoc, but Clem, he has to handle this situation. He will shut it down. Has his 3rd base. Is rebuilding, remaxing. Clem working on 2-2, has an upgrade lead as well. Again, it wasn't just the economy, it wasn't just the army size, but the upgrades as well. And there it is, GG, well played. Clem survives the all-in and takes game number 1. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Clem does take a lead here, but that was a nail-biter of a push. Again, Kelazhur, was it Norway or the Netherlands? We'll get into it. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Clem for Team Liquid. And in the bottom right, we have Kelazhur for Platinum R8. But Kelazhur, he was living in, I think it was Norway, wherever the Team Liquid HQ is. Hold on. Team Liquid. Was it Norway or Netherlands? I keep confusing them. Netherlands, that's it. Team Liquid based in Netherlands. Yeah. So, Diego, he was spending a lot of time in the Netherlands. I remember he was studying in the Netherlands, and he also did his internship, I believe, in the Netherlands as well. I don't know if he's still in the Netherlands or if he's now back in Brazil. I know he went back to Brazil for Christmas. I know he went back for the holidays, but I don't know if he's still back there or if he went back to Europe. So one or the other. If that's natural light that you're seeing for Kelazhur, then he's probably in Europe. Like, because I'm pretty sure it's deep late into the night in Latin America. So, if that's natural light behind him, then I think he's back in Europa. For now, it's gonna be 2-Rack Reaper. Okay, proxy 2-Rack Reaper here out of Clem. Kelazhur. Now we do see the roles have been reversed. Kelazhur. Oh no, he's going for a Rax Expand. Uh-oh. We'll see. Yeah, Kelazhur. He's going for a Rax Expand. Oh my god, the stars are aligning. This is the best case scenario for Clem. Best case scenario here is Kelazhur is going for an economic opener. Clem doubling down. Now, the scary thing here, this is not an auto loss. This is not a build order loss, but this is going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold. Kelazhur needs to pull the boys. When he realizes what's going on, he needs to pull the boys, he needs to pull some workers, he needs to protect that Reaper, he needs to make sure that factory finishes and get into that Hellion. He needs that Hellion. Then we got factories on the way. If this factory is denied, if the SCV is killed, then that would be game. Like, we need to make sure the factory gets up and running and we can get into our Hellion production. Kelazhur, oh, no, he doesn't check. No, he didn't see. The bunker gets thrown down, but the bunker, it won't come into play. SCV falls. We do deny the low ground CC. Diving into the main base, factory is halfway done. We need that factory to finish. We need it to complete. We do see Clem dancing with the army. Boys are being pulled. So far, so good. Kelazhur, he does force Clem out of the main. There's a cancel on the bunker. And it looks like the factory should complete. Hellion should be on the way. Clem, it looks like he's content on the low ground, and he will delay that CC for as long as he can. Will lay base. Oh, gets a Reaper. Very nice control out of Clem. Pulls back, saves the Reaper. Does save it. And we can see Kelazhur holding on to that high ground, and we're gonna force that cancel. That's gonna be a brutal moment here for Kelazhur. The advantage that he has is his base timing. Dive into the main, trading a Reaper for a Marine. Oh, Clem overcommits here. Does shave off the Marines, gets another SCV, but will bleed out all of his Reapers. We go down to 2. Kelazhur has help. Oh, did I speak too soon? The Hellion! No! The Hellion falls! The Hellion goes down the Marine as well, and we can delay even further. No shot. Clem, the dive earlier paid off. The Hellion goes down. Massive delay on the CC. Ay, ay, ay. And Kelazhur will eventually shut this down, will eventually be able to expand, but Clem got the damage he was looking for. Clem, he's up in workers, he's got his own CC on the way across the map. This hasn't killed Kelazhur. Kelazhur's not dead, but Clem, he's done well for himself. And he gets another SCV. Oh, he delays! No shot! No shot! The CC is like half a second away. It's so close to finishing. Oh my god. We will eventually finish it, and the Cyclone has arrived as well. We're gonna have to repair, spend more minerals, spend more resources to top it up. It'll get up and running, but again, it was a rough start for Kelazhur. Again, the stars aligned. We spoke about it before. So fortunate for Clem to have gone for Proxy 2x Reaper, and for Kelazhur to have gone for a Rax Expand. I mean, to be fair, Rax Expands are more common on Site Delta, just because it's a more defendable map. So it was a calculated move by Clem, and it did work out well in the end. And with that, Kelazhur has some catching up to do. Despite his initial opener, Kelazhur does not have the economic lead. Cyclones are already in production for Clem. Kelazhur, I believe, getting a third CC in the main base. That is a way to bounce back. I believe there's a third base on the way for Kelazhur. And here comes that Cyclone jump into the main. We need to get some damage done here. We need to turn those tables. And do we have much at home to defend? Reaper still was a natural. We do distract Kelazhur at the same time. Kelazhur jumping into the main. Boys are being pulled. Cyclones are arriving. SCVs are going down. We do get the lock-on. Oh, do get the lock-on for a moment. At the same time, Clem pushing in across the map. We have chaos on both sides. In both bases. We did miss the lift. Did end up missing that lift there from Clem. But SCVs are going down. GG gets called. It's just too much to handle, and Clem will take the series at 2-0. A strong lead for Team Liquid. Whew, GG, well played. Clem looking satisfied. Looking satisfied on cams. But a shout out to Kelazhur. Game 2 was rough. Game 2 was a rough game. Game 1 was very close, right? That all-in from Kelazhur was so close to breaking Clem. If one or two other things had gone his way, would have been a different series, would have been a different dynamic. Here in Game 2, again, Rax Expands are a lot more common. Why? Because Site Delta is typically a safer map. Safer map to go for these more economic openers. Kelazhur went for it and was punished for it there. And it wasn't just the build of choice, it was also the control of Clem. He had some very, very slick Reaper micro there. Able to out-control Kelazhur, able to pick off Reapers, able to pick off SCVs. Again, he delayed that expansion for so long. Very impressive stuff there by Clem. Does take a lead for his team. And now, we'll see if we can bounce back. Up next, we have Elazer versus ShaDoWn in a Zerg versus Protoss matchup. ShaDoWn has been looking impressive. ShaDoWn, he started kind of getting on my radar, was it a year ago? I think a year, maybe a year and a half ago. I think like 2 seasons of WTL ago, it's like start of 2023. We saw ShaDoWn popping off in World Team League. ShaDoWn, he was one of the go-to players for Platinum Heroes. Back then it was ShaDoWn, DNS, and Goblin. I think they were the trifecta for the Platinum Heroes, and eventually Firefly when Firefly joined. But ShaDoWn was featured week after week after week, every single week for Platinum Heroes. And yeah, we saw quite a lot of him, and we saw him go up against some of these bigger names and not look too bad, and improve over time. We saw the improvement of ShaDoWn over the course of 2023, and because of that, I feel like he has a good chance here. Elazer, of course, he just went up against Cristiano last night. If you were here on this channel, you would have seen a best of 7 between Elazer and Cristiano in the grand finals of the House Galactic Battle, and Cristiano did defeat Elazer in a pretty handed series. Like, it was very impressive what Cristiano was able to pull off. We'll see if ShaDoWn can learn from that. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have Elazer for Team Liquid. And in the top left, we have ShaDoWn for Platinum R8. Let's go. But yeah, yesterday we were live for 12 hours. It was a 12-hour cast of non-stop Polish StarCraft, and we saw a lot of Elazer's ZVP. A lot of it. We saw him against Papi, we saw him against Geralt, we saw him against Cristiano twice. But based on the fact that we don't have any webcams, it looks like this series was played ahead of time. It means that maybe ShaDoWn wasn't able to watch the House Galactic Battle. Especially if this was played like yesterday or the day before that. So, yeah, that is something to factor in here. As we're getting into standard openers. Going to be Hatch Gas Pool. Basically, what Elazer really struggled with and what Cristiano excelled at was this very heavy Immortal Archon based composition, where we would open up, we wouldn't open up Blink, we would open up with a Twilight Council Forge into Fast Templar Archives, into Fast Archons. We would skip Blink, go into Charge, get into an Immortal heavy style, and work towards these big timings, these big Storm timings, or these big, like, quintuple Immortal timings that would just catch Elazer off guard, or punish him if Elazer was rushing into Mutas, for example, which happened a couple of times. It's this kind of, like, really, like robust brute force style of PvZ that has been a little bit trendy as of late. It's been quite trendy, not just amongst Cristiano, who loves it, but even amongst some of these other Protoss players that have been embracing it as well. And Zerg players have been having a bit of a harder time keeping up with that style. Or at least Elazer has. We'll see. We shall see. It's 11 a.m. in Brazil. Oh, there you go. Netherlands. Yeah. They see it in the chat. They see it in the chat. Yeah. I always mix up Netherlands and Norway. Always. Doing some fighting game too in the meantime. Oh, let's go. It's good to hear. It's good to hear, Kozan. Good to hear. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. If that was natural light, I think he'd be melting. Oh, it's not that late. Okay. Fair enough. I'm so used to it being like 4 or 5 a.m. in Latin America whenever we're casting these events. Specifically like ESL, Open Cup Asia and stuff like that. But it is later. It is later. As the Depths are making their way across the map, again, it's going to be a Stargate opener as a take of choice for ShaDoWn. Is a Stargate opener. Double Adept going to be threading the mineral lines here of Elazer. So far, nothing too crazy. So far, it's been pretty standard setups here from both Elazer and ShaDoWn. Adepts do shade in. Lings are in position, though, and we should be able to get us around on one of these Adepts. Oh my, the Jukes! We do try to slip away, but one Adept will fall, and the other will barely escape with its HP, with its life. Not really worth it here for ShaDoWn. Picked off a couple of Lings, but no real economic damage dealt. And Ling Speed kicks in. Ling Speed does kick in. We're heading over towards the third base location. We're going to force a cancel. We're going to dive on that Adept. The Adept is still very low. We get a surround. We get the Adept. We get the probe. And can we force the cancel? Oh, not quite. We're going for the Adept instead. Going for secure damage. The second Adept will fall. And the Oracle is forced back home. A nice win here for Elazer. Again, ideally, these oracles want to be across the map. They want to be across the map. They want to be harassing. They want to be threatening drones, getting worker kills. But alas, these lings, they keep those oracles busy. They waste some of the energy as well on those oracles. Now they're moving out, and Elazer has a little bit more time to get ready. And what do we have? 3 queens at the third. Oh my god, 2 queens at the natural. Yeah, no way in. No damage dealt. And Elazer is holding on. Yeah, so far doing a great job here at keeping up with the rotations of ShaDoWn. Eva Chambers on the way. Back at home, we have our Transition, we have our Twilight Council, and our Forge. This should be for +1 and Blink. Again, if I was casting someone like Christiana, I would assume it's going to be for a Templar Archives for Archons and Storm, but I don't think ShaDoWn is really one to embrace that. When I think of ShaDoWn, I think of more of a Blink Stalker heavy kind of player. But we'll see. We shall see. As we do have a bit of a multi-pronged attack here. Oracle towards the natural, getting 1 drone. Double Oracle towards the third, not quite finding too much damage here. As the production is done, and there we go, we have our upgrades on the way. It is +1 and indeed Blink, so we're not going for that kind of fast Archon, fast Immortal style. It's going to be Blink Stalkers, while we harass with 6 Adepts. These are going to be 6 Vanilla Adepts. Their goal is to try to get some economic damage done, and to commit us to a mineral line. Blink Stalker Transition behind this. Meanwhile, Elazer, do you see what I see? I see Overlord Speed. Now, this map, I should have spoken about this before. Oceanborn is known for all-ins. It's known for 3-way all-ins from the side of Zerg players. As we get a full surround, we force the recall. Adepts, they racing back home. Roach Warren's almost done. But this map is known for Zerg players all-inning on 3 bases. Off of 6/6 workers. We do have a 4th on the way when it comes to Larva. Lair is about to finish up as well. But this Overlord Speed is a little bit of a tell. I'm curious if we're planning to go for Dropper Lords, to move out across the map with all these queens, to amass roaches, to amass lings, and go for one big push. I don't see any I don't see any drones yet. I'm looking at the production tab, and if we, there it is, Dropper Lords are on the way. We're going all in. We're going for a big 3-base all in. We are bleeding out a couple of workers, but what is dangerous here is that we need this energy to defend back at home. We need the energy back at home. It's going to be a Ling drop towards the main, a Ling drop towards the natural, queens through the center, and of course Roach Ravager hitting the 3rd base. It's going to be a tri-pronged attack here by Elazer in conjunction with these Ling drops, but the Ling drop is scouted. Ooh, big moment here for ShaDoWn. But we need shield batteries, we need cannons, we need side defense at the 3rd. As the drop is denied. Meanwhile, the roaches have been spotted. We have that lane drop towards that natural that we spoke about. Again, it's 2 lane drops, 1 for each base, and then the main push. Sag defense is on the way. We don't really have that much sag defense though. Just 2 cannons and a shield battery. Yeah, we dive on the army. Lings are being cleaned up by the oracles. But what about the Roach Ravager? We're breaking through the front lines. There's barely an army standing. ShaDoWn a little bit too greedy, going for a 4th base, a 4th that he's not going to be able to make use of. Yeah, and Elazer, he has broken through. Yeah, the overcharge runs out. GG gets caught, and Elazer with the 3-base all-in catches ShaDoWn off guard. He was just not quite ready for it, didn't see it coming. And Elazer takes game 1. Whew. GG, well played. A very decisive blow there by Elazer. Again, unfortunately, ShaDoWn took him a little bit too long to realize what was going on, and even then, again, just had very little to defend. Still had the 4th Nexus on the way. That is 400 minerals that could have been spent on additional shield batteries, on additional cannons, on additional warpins. We saw a Templar Archives on the way. That wasn't going to help at all in that defense either. Like, it was just, yeah, less than ideal there for ShaDoWn. Again, knowledge is key here in StarCraft, and the all-in did catch him with his pants down. GG, well played. And now we're diving into our next game. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Elazer for Team Liquid. And in the top left, we have ShaDoWn for Platinum R8. Here we go. Ooh. Hope to see a reunion of you on Rushi. Rushi? Is it Rushi or Rushi? But I saw Rushi, I saw him streaming, I think it was yesterday or the day before that. I saw him stream, he was streaming, he was live. I was like, happy, he's back. I don't know if he never went, but he was streaming some StarCraft the other day, which was really cool to see. As we do have our probe across the map, forcing the unnatural natural. Forcing Elazer to expand elsewhere. And back at home, ShaDoWn just entering his own standard opener, going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Calming things down. The OG casters of King of Battles and King of Battles 2, they're the OG Alpha X casters. Yeah, Alpha X, they used to have, who they have? It was Rushy, that was Kozan, mainly. Of course, Azlis joined later. Who else? Was Snoopy casting? Snoopy? Maybe? Maybe? Back in the day. Who else? I know Akontistis. I think he started casting at some point, right? Akon Sices? Akon. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think he started casting at one point as well. Tournament where... Dude, that'd be a lot. It's good times. Tournament where Cure pulled out the mass Widowmine drops against Cyril and Raynor and got massive success. The days, back in the days. Oh. But for now, we are settling in. Going to be saturating our bases. We do have our tech of choice. Going to be a Stargate opener here by ShaDoWn. Just like the previous game. And we'll keep an eye on the Elazer. Now, Golden Aura, once again, if we wanted to go for an all-in, I'm not too fond of it on Golden Aura. The third base on this map is much more secure. It is a very narrow ramp coming to the third, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to pull off 3-base all-ins. I expect Elazer to maybe have a different approach. Maybe going into a Spire, maybe working towards a Spire, maybe a Spire. I don't know. We'll see. Elazer was very fond of Muta play over the weekend, which is why I'm bringing it up. So I would not be surprised if he whips that here in game 2. Otherwise, we could just see a standard game like Lingbane, Roach Ravager, into Hydras, into Lurkers. Like, we could just see, you know, more of what's meta. We'll keep an eye on the Elazer. So now we are joining up. Going to be Stargate into Oracle. We're not really spicing things up too much. Not going into a Void Ray, for example, or anything like that. There it is. It's just going to be those Oracles, going to be harassing, going to be trying to get some damage done. If you remember last game, ShaDoWn had a really hard time. If you remember, he lost his first 2 Adepts. This time, we actually keep the Adepts back at home. ShaDoWn doesn't even risk it. After being punished in game 1, ShaDoWn, he keeps both Adepts back at home. This means that his Oracles have more freedom. This means that they're not stuck at home like they were last time. We can be more active. We can threaten these bases. We can try to punish Elazer that much harder. So a much safer style here from ShaDoWn. I should say much safer with the Adepts, so you can be more aggressive with the Oracles. Second Oracle's on the way. Third base being taken. So far, so good. Elazer able to keep up for the time being with ShaDoWn. Is able to keep up. And we've yet to really see any kind of big deviation yet. As the Oracles, they head in between the bases. Drones are going to go down. Not bad. We do get 2, soon to be 3 drones. For a bit of hull damage. So not a bad start here for ShaDoWn. Now he can just regenerate his shields and dip back in once again. Meanwhile, ooh, that is a bit of an earlier Roach Warren. That was a 4:45 Roach Warren timing. So a little bit earlier than we would expect to see. Not like insanely early. So I'm curious. Curious what's going to be done with it. Third Oracle has rise. Oh my god. As the Oracle takes a lot of hits, so we do go for the recall. And it looks like we will barely get out of there. Whew. With all 3 Oracles. Blair is on the way. Adept's going to be shading in towards that natural. Not many Lings. Boys are being pulled. Drones are going down. This is finally the damage we were looking for. ShaDoWn getting 3 drone kills so far. 3, 4, 5 workers going down. 6. And we're not done. We shade into the natural. The Oracles are still being active. Finally, something going ShaDoWn's way, even diving on top of the Queens. Oh, but we have a transfuse. Yeah, we can sustain ourselves. The Queens hold their own, but 10 drones fall. Not bad. The Roach Warren is done, and you can see that Elazer is droning. He's droning, he's throwing down gases. We're macroing up. Despite that earlier Roach Warren timing, it looks like it's just for safety. Just a safety Roach Warren as we try to macro it up. Means that ShaDoWn isn't really under any threat. No threats here for ShaDoWn. Gonna be able to keep up. Back at home, getting into Immortal production. Interesting. +1 is on the way. Twilight Council was delayed. Hello. Cristiano, is that you? Twilight Council was delayed. Second Robo's on the way. This looks like a mass Immortal composition here, or a setup for ShaDoWn. And I think with that Twilight Council finishing... Okay. I was going to say this should be for Templar Archives. It is for the Templar Archives. And I assumed it was going to be Templar Archives for Archons and Charge. But no, it's going to be Blink instead. I'm a little bit thrown off by the Blink. Just because this is all quite gas intensive. Which is why Zealots work quite well with like Charge Out Immortal. But fair enough. Working towards Blink instead. We'll see how ShaDoWn can make use of it. And second Robo's on the way. We have taken all 6 gases so far. I imagine we're going to be prioritizing that on the 4th base as well. Meanwhile, Elazer has been droning and has teched up into Hydras. No Spire. No Spire, no Mutas. Instead, it's going to be the other one. The Hydra Den instead. Into Hydras, there's the Infestation Pit. So it looks like Elazer is playing this in a much more standard fashion. Working towards Lurkers. Lurkers are on the way. Should be Hydra into Hive, into Lurker Tech, into upgrades. Elazer heading down that tech tree. That tech path. And ShaDoWn still has to piece this together. Is making 2 Immortals at a time. True. Does have Storm on the way. I am liking ShaDoWn's army composition versus Lurkers. But it comes down to how much are we going to have by the time Elazer maxes out. And how aggressive is ShaDoWn going to be? There's that Lurker Den behind the mineral line. As I mentioned, as soon as we saw the Infestation Pit, it's like, oh, okay, Lurkers. It's they're coming. The Lurkers are on the way. Immortals are building up. High Templar as well, gathering energy. And do we hit this timing with Storm? It looks like we won't. Okay, ShaDoWn embracing a longer game. As he is looking to apply some pressure here, he's not going to be committing. You can see on the production tab, Fleet Beacon. We have a Fleet Beacon on the way instead, getting ready for Sky Toss. But you can see ShaDoWn doesn't want to give Elazer as much breathing room as possible. He wants to limit him, keep him honest. Pokes onto creep. Wants to keep Elazer back for as long as he can. Tempest production has begun. I believe we only have 1 Stargate, so it's a bit of an awkward transition. There we go. Second Stargate's now on the way. But we are investing into those Tempest, which again will help against the Lurkers. We do see Elazer rotating around with his Roach Hydra. Elazer's maxed, but Elazer doesn't have the best army he could. Unfortunately, a lot of his supply is tied up in Roaches, and we need to get rid of those Roaches as quickly as possible. And replace that with more Hydras, more Lurkers, even Vipers as well. As the Roaches are kind of dead supply. We don't want to throw them away, we want to trade ideally. Do want to trade. As Elazer still working on those upgrades. Mass expanding, taking the gold base. We can see ShaDoWn is supply... Oh, this is not the time. It's a little bit supply blocked. But will chrono into those Tempests. There we go. Supply block is broken. Massive Stacy towards the south. Ooh. Storm not quite connecting. See on the right hand side, Elazer diving in with that Roach Hydra. Again, even if he bleeds out Roaches here, this is a good thing. So not a bad moment here for Elazer. Nidus Worm on the way. More Vipers. More Lurkers as well. No Vipers yet. But we're headed for the main. Overseer in position. Does siege up. Does manage to siege up. We do see a decent Storm here, and once again the 4th base is going to be, sorry, the 5th base is going to be denied. Looks like that's the win conditioning for Elazer, but another big stasis. Storm as well grazes a handful of these Hydras. As we distract the main army, Nidus Swarm into the main. We do react, we do warp in. But is it too late? It's gonna be close. Oh, Nidus Swarm finishes, and 3 lurkers pop out. Ooh, just in time. And where's the detection? Rich Hydra picking up an Archon, catching an Immortal. Uh-oh. Maybe even more than that. Yeah, Immortals are being shut down. We do see Elazer finding quite a bit of damage here. So he does force a big reaction into the main. Lurkers are finally being cleaned up. We can see the Elazer, he's just rebuilding, remaxing on more Hydra. More Lurkers. Dark Shrine on the way, let's go. Now, even though ShaDoWn has yet to expand, 4 bases is enough to max out. Like ShaDoWn, he can sustain himself to be able to max out here at 200 supply, but we need a 5th base to sustain ourselves, to sustain losses. So 5th base has been denied time and time again, is now being taken towards the right-hand side. We have a Nidus on the way to make sure that does not happen. Lurkers laying siege upon the 3rd. A nice storm here on the Lings. Storm does connect. Meanwhile, the wall has been broken. We have Lings on the right-hand side. We're pushing in towards the 3rd base as well. The doors have been broken. We can flood in. But pushing into storms is never an easy thing to do. The Elazer still stuck outside. But he denies the 5th. Now, ShaDoWn is maxed. He is maxed out. But if he starts bleeding out some of these Skytoss units, then again, replacing them is not going to be easy. We do need a 5th. Big Lurker coming from the right, going for that Templar. Ooh, 1 High Templar goes down. It survives. No shot. High Templar barely makes it out. There we go. More Lurkers on the way. Ooh, we do block off that ramp. Lurkers are in production. Elazer rotating around. Waiting for his reinforcements. But again, did deny the 5th. Gold base is getting saturated. Elazer, he has at least a mineral bank to work with. At least look at that. They're diving in. Once again, going for this round. Diving on the High Templar. Overcharge is popped. And we're holding on to those storms. We actually don't spend them. Really patient play out of ShaDoWn. Very impressive. But meanwhile, we're exposed here on the right-hand side. Lurkers are going straight for the Nexus, taking a lot of hits. The Immortals as well having a hard time pushing in, but this is going to cost us a lot of these Lurkers. 18 probes for Lings, they bust into the mineral line. Lurkers are forced back. 19 probes go down. But that was a lot of Lurkers being thrown away. That was like a good, what, 6, 7 Lurkers? That was an expensive push on the right-hand side, and we did not get the Nexus. The Nexus survived. And because of those losses, because Elazer lost so many of those Lurkers, you can see the gas bank. It's not actually there. Elazer has minerals, but not gas. So these have been some expensive losses for the Zerg player. Very expensive. We start to step forward, we dive on top of the Skytoss army. We have storms! Oof. Don't quite spend them. Once again, pushing through the slow zone. Cloak is activated. No detection! Uh-oh. Yeah, the Overseer not quite here, but we do deny the 5th. There we go. Lurker's going to be focused down one after the other. And ShaDoWn can take this fight. That one Lurker being so annoying. Does take the fight, but lost the base. Once again, the Nexus is shut down. ShaDoWn, he's just been desperately trying to expand for so long. Hasn't been able to. Laser remaxing with more Hydra. I believe the Lurker count is reset. I'm not sure we have many Lurkers left, if at all. If there are any Lurkers, I think they're in the Nidus Swarm. Yeah, there we go. 3 more Lurkers on the way. It's mainly Ling Hydra. It's very mobile as a composition, but very fragile as well. All it takes is a couple of storms. In a head-on fight, I favor ShaDoWn, to be honest. We have plenty of Tempests, plenty of Carriers, plenty of Storms. If both armies faced off, I feel like ShaDoWn would snowball out of control. Elazer making 24 drones! Oh my god! Wait, what? Okay, I guess this should be for a Spore Forest. As it's getting up to 104 workers. We should be seeing a line of static defense, though, from this. We'll see. Again, like, Elazer's army is going to be tiny because of this. You can see here, only 80 army supply. Down pushing forward. ShaDoWn Queens. Yeah, the push has begun. Elazer, he's in trouble. Is pushing forward, going for, yeah, he's going for a Hail Mary play. Massive Storm Shield on the Ling Hydra. Will surround these Immortals, though. Immortals are going down. But here comes the main force. We do see Elazer trying to set up a surround, but the Lurkers have fallen one after the other. And the Skytoads cannot be stopped, not by Mass Hydra. Spires are finishing up, but we have no upgrades. We have no upgrades. We have no Corruptor Switch really available. Yeah, Elazer just stuck on Ling Hydra for a little bit too long. Storm on the Lings. And there's just no anti-air. There's not enough anti-air. The Skytoss, it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. And ShaDoWn is doing it, Papi. Keep going. Keep pushing. We have 20 more Hydras coming out. But we have no storms. That's the problem here. Is if we had a couple of High Templar, then we could keep pushing. You can see Elazer still on 100 workers. Is trying to mine his heart out here. Is remaxing with mainly Ling, Hydra, and there we go. 7 more Lurkers on the way. Yeah, ShaDoWn pulls back. He pulled back home. Again, a big reason for this is because he lost all of his High Templar in the last fight. We saw that Elazer, he dove in with his Lings and he was able to kill every single High Templar. So I don't blame ShaDoWn, but he does need to keep pushing. He needs to keep the pressure up. Yeah, there we go. Massive storm on the Hydras. Because of the storms, Elazer cannot engage. The space should go down. ShaDoWn, he finally gets his 5th up and running. Lurker is going for a big counterattack. Okay, 7 Lurkers. Carriers respond. Vipers dipping in. Looking for the Yonks. Looking for those abductions. Can we get the Mothership? We can! We can, and we will. Mothership goes down. Minus 300 storm. Oh, not quite connecting. Stasis Trap saves those Hydras. Carriers have rotated over. Now, the carriers can recall. We have 1 recall available. Oh, that's a lot of saturation here in that northern base. And ShaDoWn, he's here to try to punish this. But he's maxed out. He can't warp in. ShaDoWn, he's at 200 supply. He's at 199. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure he wanted to warp in some DTs. Ooh, ShaDoWn is being cornered. Really awkward position here. Tempest doing what they can. Ooh, High Templar going down. Lurkers, they're coming in for the kill. Every High Templar falls once again. Now, the Skytoss army will clean this up. But does ShaDoWn feel confident pushing out without splash damage? And that's the reason why he turned around before. Again, he lost all the High Templar. Alright, recalls. Recalls top right. With this recall, he should deny the Northern Hatchery. He should break it down. High Templar in the way. Like, we cannot allow Elazer to just mine freely like this. Cannot allow that. And yeah, there we go. The base will go down. Now, we just recalled, which means we don't have another recall for quite some time. The Mothership will help with that. As the Mothership comes out, 21 workers go down. Ooh, that's a big blow to the economy of Elazer. The base does fall. Mothership is about to spawn in. And we can see Elazer rotating towards the left-hand side. ShaDoWn needs to get out of there, by the way. ShaDoWn, he needs to rotate as well. Okay, instead of responding to the army, we're pushing. We're going for a pseudo-base trade. To be fair, we have an army to defend. I mean, look at this. A decent carrier count. 4 carriers. There's no pushing into that. So ShaDoWn, he defends and he attacks. Deflects the main army, shuts down the hatchery. We can see Elazer getting ready for a surround. Do we have a recall? We do. We have the Mothership recall. Nice storm. Corruptor's diving in. And there's the recall. We got 1 carrier. Oh, we got a second. 2 carriers and I think 1 Tempest. Yeah, we did recall to the Mothership. So ShaDoWn does escape. And now we need to answer the Corruptors. The Corruptors may not be well upgraded, but there's a lot of them. They do need to be respected. Yeah, where are the Archons? They can focus on the Tempest one after the other. Without Archons, what can we really do? Storms are thrown down, but Corruptors, they can tank some of these Storms. Yeah, they take down almost every Tempest, but we cannot keep pushing. Yeah, the Carriers, they barely hold their own. Again, these are 1-1 Corrupt. They're just now 1-1 after the fight. They were 1-0 Corruptors. As a result, Corruptors are forced back. ShaDoWn pushing forward once again. You can see Elazer's double expanding. The Corruptor army is very battered and very bruised, and we're bleeding out too much. A lot of Corruptors going down. We do deny that hatchery, and we can keep pushing. We can keep pushing out. Elazer, he's burned through his bank. Once again, barely any gas. Elazer, he's running out of gas. And ShaDoWn, we gotta send it, Pappy. Is clearing up creep. The Corruptor count is once again healthy. It's okay. It's okay. Could be better. Yeah, Zealot on my left-hand side as well. Here we go. Now we do come in with a Master Ass. Zealot towards the left, DT towards the right. Yeah, we are wreaking havoc with denying mining here. And again, Elazer, he's already broke. He needs these gases. Looks like he will take the base. ShaDoWn still building up that death ball of an army. Likewise, ShaDoWn has been stuck on 5 bases for quite some time, and he needs another. He needs to expand, and there we go. The boys are coming. The probes are being pulled. And we do need to take that top right base as quickly as possible. It all comes down to the gas. For both players, both ShaDoWn and Elazer. You can see the Laser, he's burning through his mineral bank with all these things, but oh, that's a massive storm. Do we have another? Oh, do we have another? As it looks like we do not. The Hydras are still stepping forward. There we go. Storm on the Hydras. Does buy some time. The army rotates over, and we will be able to clean this up, but not without losing an Immortal. Do you pick up an Immortal? Do you force the morph of these Archons? There we go. Top right is being taken, but the Lings are there. Elazer's in position to deny that Nexus. Yeah, and ShaDoWn, he's not here to save it. We do force a cancel. We got to keep pushing. Like, regardless of where ShaDoWn is going to push, we need to expand behind it. Whether it's top right or bottom left, we need a base. And we need to be able to defend it. There we go. Pylon on the way. ShaDoWn, he's thinking about the center left base. You can see here that Lazer's running out of resources. Taking top right. Again, ShaDoWn in a difficult position. He cannot allow Elazer to take more bases, but at the same time, he also has to defend his current base. He is spread thin. If he goes one way, he's going to be dragged in the other. And massively counterattack. Zealots, they do get in position. Nice storm on the Lings. Ooh, and we do catch reinforcements. Carrier goes down. Mothership as well. That's massive. Yeah, the way that Protoss players can deal with immobility is that Mothership to be able to have a second recall. That's one of the most important parts of the Mothership, and it goes down. Oh, nice storm of the Corruptors. The Lings, they're breaking through the 5th base. We're in danger. We have to recall. Oh. Yeah, tough choice to make. 14 probes go down. We do force that recall. I would love to have seen... We forced the recall, so may as well deny top right. Right, that base is right there, and Elazer, he's getting away with it. He's getting away with that hatchery, which is massive. ShaDoWn, he's out of resources. ShaDoWn, he can't max. ShaDoWn, he's done well for himself, but I do feel like there was some moments in this game where ShaDoWn could have been more aggressive and he was a little bit more passive, playing really scared. I don't think he realized like how much trouble Elazer was in. I don't think he realized that Elazer was struggling to like rebuild after certain fights. But Elazer, he's going for the kill. He's going for the last mining base of ShaDoWn. Is committing. And the problem right now is that ShaDoWn is trading bases, but the gold base that ShaDoWn just killed doesn't matter. That gold base, it just doesn't matter anymore. Is denying mining in top right? Like, ShaDoWn needs more. As ShaDoWn, he lost the most crucial mining base that he has. Nexus goes down, and we got to keep going. Another hatchery going to be falling. Again, Elazer, you can afford to lose this base. Towards the south, I mean, this one. Like, this hatchery isn't really adding much value. Broodlord's on the way. Now the important bases for Elazer are in the top right. And do we have a recall? As Elazer, he's going for the final bastion of hope here for ShaDoWn. It's not even saturated. Nice stasis, though. And ShaDoWn engaging initially with the Corruptors. A lot of Corruptors going down. And now diving in. We do get the revelation. ShaDoWn is down to 12 workers. Again, barely an economy. He may have the base, but he doesn't have the saturation. He's being forced back. Ay, ay, ay. The lurkers are forcing him back home. Elazer saturating top right. Elazer, he's remaxing. He can sustain himself. Barely. Can sustain himself. I guess there is a world here where if ShaDoWn... not even that. I was gonna say if ShaDoWn turtles at this base and saturates it, then maybe. But the reality is that if he turtles up, then Elazer will take the center base. That center base that used to be from ShaDoWn. Then Elazer can take that and mine more freely. Like, ShaDoWn needs to be active. The base is fully saturated. Zealots are helping when it comes to mining time. But yeah, this is huge. Like, that is a fully fresh mining base here for Elazer. And Elazer, he splits up his army. He's got Broodlords on the way to punish that left-hand base, to punish that Nexus. At the same time, ShaDoWn also rotating over as well. We're going for a base trade. Oh, this is dangerous. I think Elazer could win this with a base trade. He can kill all the buildings. We're gonna need to recall at some point. Base gonna be going down. We do see Hydra's lurkers pushing in. Yeah, these bases gonna be falling. Now, before we recall, ShaDoWn has to take down top right. Or at least leave something at home or something across the map to kill this base before recalling. But we're running out of buildings. There we go. Hatchery goes down. We have to recall. Go back home. Up. We stack. There it is. Recall to the natural. Lurker is not quite within range. And ShaDoWn needs to defend. Do we have detection? Okay, we do. Phew. We do have detection. Okay, what you see is what you get. We have very little income for both players. Now, Elazer did save his drones, and he's immediately re-expanding top right, retaking that base. And the problem is that because we just recalled, how does ShaDoWn move out? If he moves out, then Elazer wins. Like, Elazer just attacks. You can see the Hydra's distracting the main force, and Elazer should be pushing on the left-hand side. Yeah, he's moving in. The Broodlord army is pushing forward. ShaDoWn out of position. Forces to cancel. But ShaDoWn can win a fight. I still favor ShaDoWn in a head-on fight, in a head-on engagement. If both armies clash, I think ShaDoWn can win. Ah, but that's a lot of Corruptors. Never mind. That's a lot of Corruptors. And no longer are they unupgraded. Yeah, here we go. One final fight. Storm on the Hydras. The Corruptors, they pick away at the Archon. Archon goes down. Fungal on the carriers. And here comes the Mass Corruptor engaging here with those carriers. We close the distance. We're running out of storms. No Archons to support. GG gets called on the Elazer. He takes it. Whew. Does take the series at 2-0. Takes down ShaDoWn. GG, well played. Once again, very similar to Clem versus Kelazhur, where Kelazhur, he barely didn't take game 1 against Clem. Like, game 1 versus Clem was so close between Kelazhur and Clem. Similarly here, with Elazer versus ShaDoWn, ShaDoWn had moments. He had moments, and there were moments in this game where he was straight up winning, where he straight up could have killed Elazer. Like, but it's also such a difficult way to play. I think what I love about Hero is a bit of a side tangent. What I love about Hero in late game ZVP is that Hero is so aggressive in late game ZVP. He is so active, and fun fact, he doesn't move out with his mothership. He like say for example, if we were given this situation, if Hero were to be pushing top right, he would leave his mothership at one of his other bases, maybe the southern base. So he could push in, take down a base, and then recall to the other side of the map. He would very rarely actually have his mothership with his main army, and he would use it as a second recall. So you'd have your main recall, your second recall to just bounce between bases, bounce between sides of the map, to be more active, to allow yourself to be more aggressive, and to deny some of these bases. Like, it's a much more active style, and it can be a little bit difficult to work with. Yeah, like it's something that Hero does really well in the late game, and it's something that I was desperately wanting out of ShaDoWn. I was wanting to see just more aggressive and more proactive recalls here between his mothership and his bases and stuff, but we just didn't quite see it. And yeah, Elazer just abused his mobility, and now we're diving into our next series. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have YoungYakov. In the top left, we have Cure. Here we go. Here we go. As we are diving into this, we are settling into our ZVT, the final best of 2 of the night. But yeah, I'm referring to specifically, there were moments when Elazer, back when he had 1-0 Corruptors, which was like halfway through the game, there were moments where he was like taking some rough fights, bleeding out a lot of Corruptors, bleeding out a lot of Hydras, not having any Lurkers, but ShaDoWn was just stuck at home and stuck responding to Elazer. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. Solid game there, and again, ShaDoWn definitely had opportunities and definitely had a chance, was not out of his grasp. And now we're settling into our TVZ. And coming into this, obviously YoungYakov is the favorite player. You know, he is the most recent Sparkling Tuna Cup champion, breaking the curse. This entire year it's been only Protoss champions, but YoungYakov is our first non-Protoss. Do love to see it. So he's coming in prepared, hot and heavy. Coming into this best of 2. Cure, on the flip side, is also one of the best Terrans in the world. I believe he's also a Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. True. Remember Cure, he played like in 2, I want to say. Like 1 or 2 of these events. Yeah. He played back at the start of 2023. So, fun fact, both Cure and YoungYakov have won Sparkling Tuna Cup once. You know what that means? They're even. Let's go. We'll see who takes the tiebreaker. As for now, we're settling in. It's going to be a hatch gas pool opener here out of YoungYakov. Again, I don't get to see enough of YoungYakov. I know that I was talking about how we just casted him in different tournaments. But in general, YoungYakov has been a little bit less active. Wars Reaper has arrived, forcing in that Spore. Quick reaction there to YoungYakov. Does save his drone. But YoungYakov, he's been a little bit less active this year. Compared to players like Wayne, compared to some of the other European Xerxes. Ooh, 2 Lings do go down. Good pickups here by Cure. So I was concerned that YoungYakov was going to retire. Like, I feel like he has a lot of potential. As a player. And I was so concerned that, you know, we were going to be seeing maybe him, like, silently retreat from the game. But no, he's back. He's active again. It's really good to see him in a lot more of these online events. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is YoungYakov's debut in WTL. Let me just double check. Like, again, I was talking about how inactive he's been. Double checking here. We do see that, yeah, YoungYakov, he did not play for Platinum R8 this entire season. It's his first time. It's his first time, which again we do. Oh wait, no, my apologies. I missed it. It was week 2. My apologies. Week 2 is when he debuted. And even week 1. Oh, never mind. Never mind. He was there in week 2 and in week 1. For the past couple weeks, he hasn't been here. Okay, okay. It's my short-term memory, which is okay. It's a month ago where it's all fuzzy. Oh. So never mind. He is making his return after a bit of a break from competing here in WTL. So not a debut. He's not pulling a Sue. Oh, as we are rushing into a lair. That is a 4-minute lair timing. Alright, I'm ready. I'm ready for some shenanigans. YoungYakov rushing into a lair very, very quickly. Now, with this fast lair, this could be a couple of different things. If we prioritize gases, and I do see 3 gases on the way, this could be mutas. This could be 2-base muta. We have seen 2-base muta with mixed success on Amphion. Yeah, that's how I'll put it. We've seen it look okay. We've seen it struggle as well. Baliness gets thrown down thereafter. But I believe this should be muta play. We'll see. If we were casting YoungYakov, for example, I would be like, yo, Hydras? 2-base Hydra? True. I would assume it would be Hydras. But again, YoungYakov is a very unique player, and I don't expect YoungYakov to embrace Hydra play like that. But I'm here to see. I'm here to bear witness. What do you have for us? What do you have for us? As the lair is now done, and there it is, Spire. So, yeah, we're not doing our best YoungYakov impression. It is going to be 2-base muta from YoungYakov, as he is now saturating his 3rd. But the Spire is on the way, so far hidden, and this is just really a really risky way to play. For those that are curious what this means, because we're rushing into the Spire, late Baneling speed. Baneling speed is going to be delayed. Upgrades are going to be delayed as well for the Ling Bane. Like, there's no double lever chamber, there's no +1 attack, no +1 melee, or +1 carapace. We're relying so much on these mutas, and Kira's making it up. Let's go. Factories are on the way. Armories are on the way. Cure is going to be making it up back at home. Getting into Cyclone production, still unaware as to what YoungYakov is doing. I kind of like this for YoungYakov. If we were playing Bio, then... Oh, never mind. Then we could end up hard countering, but the Banshee does slip in, and Cure gets 6 drone kills, and he gets a full scout to the main. Oof. That's unfortunate. This was a build designed to catch the Terran player off guard. That is the power of 2-base muta, is catching them unawares, but Cure saw everything. He saw everything. Now we have Cyclones on the way. We're amassing Cyclones as we speak. YoungYakov knows he got scouted. So YoungYakov has to make a choice as he supply blocked. Ooh, 3 more Overlords on the way. Hellions rotating around. There we go, 5 mutas in production. And Cure should be throwing down some turrets. So far, only Cyclone. So far, just the mass Cyclone. It looks like he just wants to be hyper-aggressive. Yeah, he's going to force YoungYakov to defend with the mutas. And defensively, mutas are less than ideal. Tumor is denied. Hellbats have morphed in. Now we might have a couple of defensive Banelings. I'm hoping at least. Mutas are distracted, defending here in the main. The Hellbats, they push on forward. There are Banelings to defend. They're waddling in. And Cure with the last second split does avoid the bulk of that damage as they're busting into the mineral line. Mutas turning back around. We should clean this up. But that's going to be 10 drone kills. Not too bad. Not game-ending damage. And back at home, now we have turrets, now we have Thors. It's possible that maybe Cure didn't click on the Spire, right? Because he saw it with the Banshee, 100%. But it's possible that maybe he didn't click on it, maybe he thought it was a Spore. Because this is a big reaction at the Cure. It's turrets, Thors, Cyclones. Now, the worrisome thing right now is that Cure is ahead in the economy. Something that you don't see too often in StarCraft, because it leads into just a brutal kind of game, is a Terran meching player ahead in the economy against the Zerg. Like right now, Cure is up on bases. We have 4 base versus 4 base. YoungYakov, his hatchery is still in production, so we're barely at 4 bases. Cure is on 76 workers compared to the 63 of YoungYakov. Like, this is getting out of hand. And it doesn't look like it now. The supplies are still quite similar to each other. But basically, we're waiting for the production to kick in. Like, Cure is making 3 more factories. Once these factories get up and running, Cure is going to be hitting his stride. He will be hitting his stride. Meanwhile, YoungYakov trying to find some damage, gets 4 SCVs. We have Evos on the way, Infestation Bits on the way. We're trying to take up towards, or to try to refine our army. Right now, heavily reliant on these mutas. No! Oh, we take some big Thor shots. Yeah, big Thor shots to the face. We bleed out mutas. +1 air attack on the way. 1-1. Now in production. Kira's already got 1-1. Should be working on 2-2. Near still frames. More Thors, more Cyclones. I believe we don't have a Roach Warren. Against Mech, Lingbane struggles. Without Roaches, it's going to be a tough one. Is that Thor stuck? Wait, what? Because of the turrets, is that Thor... Is it stuck? I think it is. You can see it there on the edge, on the right-hand side. Smudge. And we shouldn't be making any medevacs here, so I don't think there's an easy way to get that Thor out without breaking through the buildings or lifting. Meanwhile, the Raven! The Raven gets caught out. Not a bad pickoff, but we also take some big Thor volleys to the face. Creep is being cleared up. We could try to mule to work through this mineral line, but now we're rotating back around. Cure is still on 86 workers. Cure with the supply lead. This is what you mentioned. We were just waiting for the factories to kick in, and now they had the supply. This time it doesn't lie. Does not lie. Okay, so I was curious what the plan for YoungYakov was. The plan is Hydra Lurker. Hydra, like Lingbane, Hydra Lurker Viper, it can trade against Mech. It can definitely like hold its own. The problem here is, again, because of the state of the game, YoungYakov, he's not quite where he needs to be. The Hive is still on the way, the Lurker Den's still not done. We need time. Oh, there's that Thor that was stuck! He holds the line! Oh, the Thor is going to be shut down, but does tank quite a bit of the Lingbane. Bailey's a bust into the mineral line. We do catch a couple of workers. Oh, YoungYakov committing quite hard to this. Rallying all of his Lingbane into the natural. He does get 12 SCVs. Was that worth it as YoungYakov plummets in supply? Does plummet in that supply. Mutas are being shut down. Cure's 5th base is up and running. And thankfully for YoungYakov, Cure is supply blocked. Otherwise, I think Cure would be maxed. But we're pushing. We're going for a big counterattack. And YoungYakov has a Lurker Den. He can make Lair Tech Lurkers. True. He can morph in some Lair Tech Lurkers to defend. Otherwise, he's going to have to rely on his Ling Hydra. And here comes the big counterattack from Cure. The Mech army looking to snowball out of control. Hydra stutter stepping their hearts out, kiting their hearts out. We do manage to catch a couple of his Hellbats. A couple of Hellbats are going to be going down. And yeah, YoungYakov, he knows he can't fight. He cannot fight this head on. The only chance that YoungYakov has is to force the army to turn around. So he goes for a big counterattack. But Cure doesn't care. Cure, he's ignoring the counterattack. He has reinforcements back at home. He's defending at his main, at his natural. Hydras are getting damage done, but this pales in comparison to what Cure is achieving across the map. We have one Lurker on the high ground. Let's go. Do we have a scan? We should. Boys are being pulled. A lot of SCV is going to be going down. Meanwhile, across the map, Cure, he's busting into the natural. And GG gets called. Cure takes game number 1. Ooh. GG, well played. A very impressive game there out of Cure. Able to flex Mech. Again, Amphion isn't seen too often in this matchup because it's often vetoed. But the same reasoning as to why YoungYakov went Muta is the same reason why Cure went Mech. Just because your bases are more secure, your 2, 3, and 4 base setup are a little bit more secure, especially as a Terran player here, you're able to be quite safe and work towards a more risky kind of army style. And here we go. We're diving into this in the bottom right-hand corner. We have Cure on Oceanborn. In the top left, we have YoungYakov. For Platinum R8. Here we go. Just catching up. Has Cyril won a Swag Tuna Cup? I don't think he has. I don't think he's quite that good enough yet. He'll get there. Kappa. Here we go. As the hatchery is being taken. Meanwhile, Cure looks like he's opening up with a 2-Rax Reaper build. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, SV is being sent to the low ground. It's going to be 2-Rax Reaper out of Cure. We've seen this be quite trendy as of late. We saw this in the previous series. We saw this earlier today with Nickrak versus YoungYakov. The goal here is to get into additional Reaper production, expand behind it, and delay the third base for as long as we can. So a bit of an aggressive build here from Kior. And this leads into a 2-on-1. More often than not, 3cc 2-on-1. So we'll see if YoungYakov can keep... he was able to do so against Nickrak earlier today. But we'll see how he handles this build in the hands of Kior. As the Raxes are finishing, Reapers are in production. Again, the goal of this build is to get across the map, is to deny the third for as long as possible, contain the Zerg player on 2 bases for as long as we can, and expand and work towards our stim timing. There are different variations of this. I'm assuming it's going to be 3cc 2-1-1, but there are 4-Rax follow-ups. There are 3-Rax follow-ups as well. They're a lot less common. Beyond would often mix them in. This was last year in 2023, at the start of 2023. But nowadays, a lot of those follow-ups have been phased out. You know, they're not too popular nowadays to go into 3 or 4 Raxes. Even Beyond has phased it out as well. As Reaper does get across the map, dancing with the Lings. We do get eyes on the third base, and upon seeing this third, we do have 3 Reapers already. We have a 4th Reaper on the way, and again, the goal is to force that cancel. A lot of damage being dealt already. Hatchery is under fire. YoungYakov waiting for that creep tumor, massing his queens, and his goal here is to try to save it. And we'll see if he can. Hatchery again taking a lot of damage. And that 4th Reaper is rallying across the map. But behind this, there's a 3rd CC that we did mention. So 3cc 2-on-1 out of Cure. And we're going to force that cancel. Yeah, YoungYakov a little bit too greedy going for this. Will not save it. Cancels the hatchery. Gets a kill on the drone. Link speed is on the horizon. So Cure should be aware. And he should get out of here before Link speed finishes. There we go. We're 10 seconds away. Cure being a little bit risky, but there we go. He turns back around. Racing back home, Link speed kicks in, and Cure will get away. So a very nice start here for Cure. Again, that's all he wanted, to deny the third, and he got what he wanted. Behind this, there's the add-on swap. Now this 2-on-1, ooh, okay, going for the Cyclone variation. Cyclones are on the way instead of Hellions. The purpose of this is to have a map presence on the map and to shut down any Overlords. It's more of an Overlord sniping like hit squad. So it should be Cyclone into Hellion. And again, you can see Stim is on the way. We're going to be building up towards a Stim timing with Medivacs. It's not all in. Remember, Cure has a 3rd CC, so it's a very macro build. But there are timings within it. There are definitely scary moments for the Zerg player that they do have to be aware of when up against this build. I do see YoungYakov responding well, going for a singular Evo chamber into Carapace. Carapace is the upgrade you want against 2-on-1 variations. The reason for this is because Carapace is the most valuable upgrade for you. It keeps your Lings alive a little bit longer as it applies to every single Marine shot. So Carapace is very necessary here and the go-to against these Stim timings. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? That's an Armory. It's going to be a 3cc 2-on-1 Hellbat push. There are layers here to Cure's build. The Hellbat edition is going to be wild. And we don't really actually have that many Hellions yet, but we have 2 more Hellions on the way. Lings are coming for the surround. Oh, nice catch. We got one. We managed to catch one of these Cyclones. Then can we get a Hellion? That's going to be huge, and we do. Very nicely done. Punishing the greed of Cure. 2 Hellions fall before the Hellbat push. And we could even get some more. 2 more Hellions on the fire. There we go. We do pull back. But this will mean that that Hellbat follow-up that YoungYakov hasn't even scouted is going to be a little bit weaker. It's not going to hit as hard as we're going to be missing 2 of those Hellbats. And the Cyclones as well. Now, Stim is done. We're still waiting for the medevacs. Those 2 medevacs are still in production. We have 3 Hellions. Again, that could have been 5. But 3 Hellions instead. Bailey Nest is on the way. And here we go, we're pushing. Here comes that Stim Hellbat timing. Because there are so few Hellions, I wonder if we may even just leave the Hellions at home. We may just not use them, not incorporate them. We'll see how committed we want to be. Ah, there we go. Now, yeah, the Hellions, they meet up. Hellbats are morphed in. Again, only 3, so with our queens, with our lings, we should be okay. This shouldn't get too much done. We clear up a lot of creep here outside of the bases. Lings diving forward. Ah, the Hellbats do well though. We do kite back. Baileys are on the way. We're getting some of the queens. Oh, 1, 2 queens go down. Very nice target fighting. The Baileys are not ready in time. Ah, the Lings are being shut down, and we do barely force the pick up. YoungYakov holds. That was close. Like, imagine this push. Imagine this very same push, but with 2 Cyclones and 2 more Hellbats. We may have just ended the game. That may have just been just enough to end the game then and there. Whew. But YoungYakov does hold. Does survive. We do see the Marines wedging themselves behind the mineral line, but we do force the pickup. Cure has to get out of there. 3rd base is getting saturated for Cure. And we are soon to enter the mid-game. YoungYakov relying on Ling Bane. Cure getting into his bio tank composition. Okay. Here we go. The champion of the Sparkling Tuna is too powerful for Cure. True. True. Remember though, Cure is also an STC champion. But here comes our follow-up push. You know, we survived the sim timing. What about the tank timing? 2 tanks are up and running for Cure. Ling Bane collapsing on this. Very nice. We force back the army. We deny the timing that Cure was going for. Ooh, the drop gets shut down. YoungYakov, calm down. Shuts down the drop, denies the push, gains map control. YoungYakov, he's stabilizing. Is looking to stabilize. Taking his 5th base. Mine getting in position. Oh my god. Mine shot not quite going up. Whew. Cure does hold. Cure, he holds on. But now we've entered more of a back and forth here. The last game was more Cure in the driver's seats more than anything. It's the position you put yourself in when you rush into mutas and when you get scouted like that. But here it's more back and forth. And YoungYakov taking more bases, droning up. Getting up to a 4 base economy, soon to be full saturation with those 7 workers on the way. Trying to get into Ling Bane Hydra. Widowmines are pushing forward. Cure has stopped tank production, going into Widowmines instead. Has drilling claws. And he's pushing forward. Now, how good are these mine shots going to be? At the same time, Ling counterattack coming in. Yeah, big mine shot. We have plenty of reinforcements as well. Now, Ling run by does nothing. And Cure drops into the main. Hive is on the way. That should be for Vipers. As for the time being, we don't really have any secure way to shut down these medevacs. Like, sure, we have some queens and we have a handful of hydras, but yeah, these medevacs are pretty free to drop as they please. At least until Vipers come out. At the same time, triple drop on the right-hand side, keeping YoungYakov busy. You can see YoungYakov just struggling to rotate between his bases. And this hatchery is looking exposed. YoungYakov, can he rotate in time? Widowmines are burrowing. Does split up his army. But that hatchery takes a lot of hits. Again, we were out of position. Can we force some friendly fire? Oh, we force the unburrow. Nice move there to Cure. The mines. Big connections. Banelings go down, a good amount of lings as well, and the drop is still not cleaned up. And the Widowmines will reset. Widowmine's going to be resetting on the right-hand side. We lost a lot of Ling Bane, and we need more support on the right-hand side. Another hatchery under fire. Hydra gets targeted. We do force the pick up. But you can see another drop coming in on the right-hand side. The drop play from Cure, it's getting out of hand. Oh, do we catch the Marines? Not quite. Handful of Marines go down. Handful of Marines do go down, and yeah, the hatchery will fall. There's no saving it. Limited vision, limited creep. The Widow Mines are still there. They have reset. And Kira's gaining ground. I'm loving the whole position micro out of YoungYakov. Not the first time we saw it. Oof. Oh, that was a big mine, though. Yeah, massive connection. At the same time, YoungYakov going for his own counterattack. Mine shots not quite going off, only the one. We do catch this army. And we go for the mineral line. We're going for the SCVs. Can we catch them? Yeah, there's no way out. We do force his last second split. Up, up. We only get 2. There we go. 15 SCVs. We defended the main base as well. Ooh, YoungYakov barely keeping up with those drops. With that, he does do a massive blow to the economy of Cure. But the 4th base is getting up and running. The Widow Mines, oh, a lot of them did survive that initial attack. They are pushing in. And that's target fire. Widow Mines are shut down. They don't quite reset. YoungYakov, he is keeping up. There's been a couple of brutal mine shots here and there, like maybe 2. 2, maybe 3, but outside of that, that's a lot of Hydras. Oh my god. Going for a very Hydra-heavy style. Can do well against Widow Mines. Oh, but in a head-on engagement, yeah, we need Ling Bane support. Against bio like this, Hydras, they can't do it on their own. We need creep, we need Ling Bane. Meanwhile, there is Vipers finally on the way. This is what we were waiting for. Vipers for abductions, for parasitic bombs. Finally, we're going to have an answer to these drops. But we still need time. They need to gather up energy. They need some time here. Creep is being denied. YoungYakov trying to keep up with that creep spread. Rotating over. Diving on the army. That's a lot of Marauders. But that's what the Ling Hydra is for. We shut down the Medivacs. Massive catch there from YoungYakov. At the same time, double jump into the main. Well, the main base is compromised. Queens are going down. Queens, 7 drones as well, but we do save the tech. That's what's important. Oh no, we're out of position once again. Oh, just barely. 10 drones fall, but we have the Ling Bane. We barely keep up. Doom drop into the natural. Vipers still need a little bit more time. And once they come online, we can yoink, we can abduct, and even parasitic bomb. There it is. We're going for the power bomb here on the Medivacs. Locking them down. Oof. One Medivac goes down, the others are very low. The hatchery is under fire, and can we focus it down? It's going to be close. Oh, we can! The hatchery falls. Still on 5 bases, we need a sig. YoungYakov, this is a little bit dangerous. He does need a hatchery, whether it's top left or bottom right. He needs something. As Kira's been doing such a great job here at just denying bases over and over again. Shutting them down. Speaking of, Kira's getting a 5th. Kira's getting a 5th base as YoungYakov is also stuck on 5 bases. Again, that is dangerous for the Zerg player. YoungYakov does have a bank to work with. But for so long. A big mine connection on the Lings. But we don't quite catch the ghosts. You can see that Kira has been pivoting away from drop play. Now the drop play has subsided. And now we're settling into tanks once again. We're out of Widow Mines into tanks. Reasoning for this, we're walling up. Widow Mines struggle against Hydras, but against Hydra Lurker, that's where tanks can thrive. So we're settling into tanks, into walling up, sensor towers, missile turrets, and ghosts are on the way. They'll be there in time for the Lurkers. The snipes won't quite connect. The hatchery is going to be denied once again. But I believe YoungYakov will finally get a 6th base on the right-hand side. Like, that hatchery should get up and running. You can see he's being active. He's looking for drops. But it should finally get online. At the same time, Nidus Worm on the way. Yo, we have some Overseers diving into the main and natural. We're looking for those Nidus Worms. We're looking for some good positioning. Meanwhile, an adventurous move here by YoungYakov, bleeding out a lot of lurkers. That was not the play. That was not the fight to take. Trying to hold his ground here, but YoungYakov is going to bleed out almost every single lurker. Nidus Storm finishes what is in the Nidus. Even more. Let's go. Lurkers, they bust into the main. And this forces a reaction at a Cure. This means that even though YoungYakov lost his main attacking force, there's no counterattack. Cure's coming back into the main base. Ooh, Overseer barely still alive. We're holding onto the ramp. Overseer goes down. Ooh, no detection. Oh my god, never mind. The stray spine shots, they shut down the ghosts. So many ghosts go down. We're camping the main base. Ling's rushing in towards the third. Cure losing so much. That was how many? That was like 12 ghosts. And that's game-ending damage. That was such an expensive army. So many ghosts going down. And YoungYakov, he's going for the kill. Catching medevacs, catching reinforcements. Again, that Nidus into the main base may have just won YoungYakov this game, as he was able to catch every single ghost. Liberators have arrived, but it doesn't even matter. SCVs are falling left and right, even forcing some friendly fire. Tank gets yoinked! We get the abduction! Let's go! And the Mass Hydra snowballing out of control. Again, things are looking dire here for Platinum RA, but GG gets called, and YoungYakov takes down Cure in game number 2, tying things up 1-1. Whew. GG, well played. Oh my god. YoungYakov having a very, very intense game there. I mean, a shout to YoungYakov, he brought Cure down. That was not an easy game. Cure was all over YoungYakov time and time again. YoungYakov fought hard for his 5th. His 5th hatchery was so delayed. And his 6th as well. The drop play was insane, and YoungYakov was barely keeping his head above water there against Cure. Eventually, the drop play stopped once the Vipers came out, once we were able to stabilize our 5th, and eventually a 6th base, really mainly the 5th base. Once we were able to stabilize, then we could turn the tables. We can turn the tables on Cure, as Cure was attempting to wall up, as he was attempting to go into mass tank, mass ghost. The Nidus came into the main. GG, well played. YoungYakov does fight back. There's a reason why he was today's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. Obviously. Clearly. Clearly, that means he can take it to Cure. Congratulations, YoungYakov, not just winning today in Sparkling Tuna Cup, but also taking a map off of Cure, being the only player to take a map off of Cure as well. Very impressive. Very impressive stuff. GG, well played. We have the final standings for the end of round 5. We have Team Vitality at the top, followed by DKZ, Team Liquid, Shopify, Basilisk, and Mystery Gaming as our top 6 teams. And we have the other half on the right-hand side. Again, Platinum RH, Berserker, Starlight Twinkle. I think what's important here is that even here at the bottom of the bracket, a lot of these teams are pretty close in those score lines. You know, Berserker and Platinum RH are tied with 4 points. You have Twisted Fairy up by 1 on 5. Psystorm, likewise, barely above them. You have Offside trailing, but Offside are a fan favorite. It's okay. they're a fan favorite. We got a lot of love for Offside esports. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. YoungYakov, he is one of the best, Pappy. One of the best. It's not easy winning a Sparkling Tuna Cup, you know? Really, the Sparkling Tuna Cup was harder than Cure. Kappa. Of course, when they have one Sparkling Tuna Cup apiece, they go 1-1. True. Este Papa Panda. GG, well played. And with that, it's a 5. It is a 5-1 at the end. It is a 5-1. But impressive stuff there to YoungYakov. Very impressive stuff. GG, well played. And with that, we're done. With that, we are done here for the night. We're going to be wrapping up. Again, it was a long broadcast. 7 hours. 7 hours of casting. I would like some food. It is almost 2 a.m. in the morning here. It is 1:46 a.m. here in the land of Australia. I'm gonna make some noodles. I'm gonna make some ramen. I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna crack some eggs, put them in. It's gonna be beautiful. But yes, I'm starving. I woke up, jumped right into casting, and here we are, 7 hours later. Time for some breakfast. Time for some food. If you're interested, if you want some more StarCraft content, if you are unsatiated, and if you are starving for more, then we have you covered with ESL Open Cup Asia. ESL Open Cup Asia is going to be tomorrow in just under 24 hours. Just under 24 hours time here on the channel. We're going to be casting... It's going to be myself and Yakov. Yakov the Zaku is going to be here as well, covering some Korean on Korean action. So if you want some Korean StarCraft, we got you covered. We got you covered tomorrow with ESL Asia. Day after that is going to be ESL Open Cup Americas. And we have another cast as well. So tomorrow is ESL Asia, followed by ESL Americas, followed by something else, followed by the by WTL Day 2. So this weekend we casted WTL round 5 day 1, we casted day 3, but we missed day 2 because we were casting the House Galactic Battle for 12 hours yesterday. All day we were casting House Galactic Battle. So we missed out on casting day 2, which is yesterday's day of WTL. So we're going to be catching up and casting that on Tuesday after ESL Americas. After ESL Open Cup Americas, there's going to be like a couple of hours break. Then bam, we're going to be back with World Team League. That's the plan. That is going to be the plan. Likewise, we're going to be doing a catch-up KSL cast as well on Thursday. We have Kung Fu Cup on Wednesday. We have WTL once again on Friday. Every day, we got you something. Every day, we have some content for you. On top of that, there's also some Brazilian tournaments going on that we have agreed to cast. There's a Brazilian tournament happening on the 19th on Wednesday, so we're going to be casting that. And Amantes de StarCraft, which is a Brazilian-only tournament, did occur yesterday, and Eric was playing in it, our boy. And obviously, we got to cast it. If Eric is playing, we got to be there to cast it. So we're going to be going over some Amantes replays on Wednesday as well, before Kung Fu Cup. So Wednesday is going to be Amantes and Kung Fu Cup. Tuesday is going to be ESL Americas and WTL. Monday is going to be ESL Asia, and Thursday is going to be KSL. So plenty of content on the horizon. Plenty of StarCraft going on. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Again, if you enjoy the casting, if you want some more StarCraft, we are live every single day, multiple times a day here on the CranKy Ducklings. We cast more than anyone else. That's something that I can take some pride in, is our work ethic here and our non-stop casting. But I'm trying to slow down a little bit. I've noticed that you know, the fatigue gets to me sometimes, so I do try to take a day off from time to time. I think my next day off might be during Home Story Cup. In 2 weeks we have Home Story Cup, so I might calm things down during Home Story Cup and just chill. And instead of casting StarCraft, I'll just watch StarCraft. I'll just watch Home Story Cup. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be beautiful. I'll try not to cast while watching. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Give them a chance. Give them some support. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.